Bright blue lights danced above him. The air felt strange, warm, and thick. He was lying on a soft surface, but it wasn't a bed. It was smooth, like metal, but soft like a pillow. As he sat up, pain rushed to his head. He touched his forehead. No wound, but something was wrong. The room was round and glowing. The walls had symbols that looked alive. They moved like water. Strange music played in the air, soft and low. Tomil had never seen anything like this. Not in books, not in movies. "Where am I?" he whispered. A door opened. Not with a sound, but like the wall itself melted. A tall creature walked in. She had light green skin, long silver hair, and eyes like stars. She wore a dark robe, shining with patterns. She looked both human and not human at the same time. Tomil jumped back. "Stay away!" But she raised her hand slowly and spoke in a soft voice. "You are safe." Her voice echoed in his mind, not through his ears. Tomil stood up. "Who are you? Where am I?" "I am Velia," the alien said, "Queen of Thalen." "Queen?" Tomil's voice shook. "Why am I here? I don't belong here." Velia smiled, gently. "Yes, you do." Tomil stepped back. "No, this is wrong. I was on Earth. I was walking home, and then a light. Everything went dark." "You were chosen," Velia said. "Not by us, by the core." "What core?" Tomil asked. Velia did not answer right away. She looked at him with calm eyes. "You will understand soon." Tomil didn't feel safe. Everything was too strange. He didn't trust her. But her voice was not harsh. It was kind, like someone who truly believed what she said. She turned and said, "Follow me." He thought about running. But where? He had no idea where he was, or even what planet this was. So slowly he followed her through the glowing doorway. The hallway was long and bright. Strange shapes floated in the air, little blue lights like living stars. As they walked, other creatures passed by. Some looked almost human. Others had 4 arms or glowing eyes, but no one looked scared. They all moved with purpose. "This place is alive," Tomil said softly. "Yes," Velia replied. "You are in the city of Zeharin, on the ship of light." Tomil touched the wall. It felt warm, almost like skin. Velia led him to a wide room with a large window. Outside, stars sparkled across the black sky. A giant planet, blue and silver, filled the view. It had rings that spun slowly. "We're in space," Tomil said. "Yes," Velia said. Tomil's hands shook. "You made a mistake. I'm just a normal boy from Earth. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a scientist. I work at a shop. I help my father fix things. I don't belong here." Velia turned to him and walked closer. "You fix things?" she asked. "Yes, small machines, old ones." She looked pleased. "Then the core chose well." "What is this core you keep talking about?" Velia stepped to the side and pointed toward the far end of the room. A small door opened. "Come, you must see it." Tomil followed, still unsure. They entered a circular chamber. In the center was a large sphere floating in the air. It glowed with light that shifted between colors, blue, white, and gold. Strange symbols danced across its surface. "This is the core," Velia said. Tommel felt something inside him move. A soft hum filled his chest. "I don't understand," he whispered. "The core is alive," Valia said. "It speaks in thoughts. It powers our ship, our city. But more than that, it protects our people." Tomil stared at the glowing sphere. It was beautiful, powerful, but it felt like it was watching him. "It brought you here," Valia said. "It called you." "Why me?" "Your mind can touch it. You are rare, Tomil." "I'm nobody," he said. "To Earth, maybe, but not here," Valia said. Tomil turned away. "I want to go home." "You still believe you don't belong?" Valia asked. He nodded. Valia stepped closer. "Then let me ask you, what if this is your home now? What if you were never meant to stay on Earth?" Tomil shook his head. "That's crazy. My family is there, my friends." "You were meant for more than fixing broken fans and old wires," Valia said. "You can fix something far greater here." Tomil looked at the core again. Its light grew brighter. "I don't know," he said. Valia smiled. "You will." He sat on the soft bed in the room they gave him. The walls glowed with a light that changed from blue to silver. Everything was quiet, but his mind was not. The alien queen, Valia, said he was special. She said the core had chosen him. But why? He looked at his hands. They were the same hands that fixed broken fans and dusty radios back on Earth. He never did anything great. He was just Tomil. A soft knock came at the door. It opened, and a small creature stepped inside. It was no taller than Tommel's chest. It had smooth gray skin and big round eyes. It smiled and held a tray with food. The food didn't look like anything Tommel had seen before. Bright fruits, glowing bread, and a clear drink that sparkled, like stars. "I'm Rila," the creature said kindly. "I help new ones." "New ones?" Tomil asked. "Yes," Rila said. "Others came before, but not like you." Tomil blinked. "Others from Earth?" "Yes," Rila nodded. "Long ago. But you're different." Tomil didn't understand, but he was too hungry to ask more. He ate quietly. The food tasted sweet and fresh, and the drink made him feel calm inside. Rila sat down across from him. "You touched the core yesterday, didn't you?" Tomil nodded. "Yes, but I didn't mean to. It just happened." Rila smiled. "That means the core trusts you." "I don't trust it," Tomil said. "I don't trust any of this." Rila's smile didn't fade. "That's okay. You don't have to understand everything now. Just keep your heart open." After the meal, 2 guards came to take Tomil to the learning hall. They were tall, with silver armor and glowing blue lines on their arms. They didn't speak, but they nodded politely. The hall was large and filled with light. On one side there was a long table. On it were strange tools and machines. Valia was already there. "Good morning, Tomil," she said. He didn't reply right away. "Are you going to test me again?" "Not a test," Valia said. "A lesson." She walked to the table and picked up a small device. It looked broken. Pieces were missing. Wires were loose. "Fix this," she said, and handed it to Tomil. Tomil raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" "It makes music," Valia said. "Long ago, a human built it. We kept it all these years." Tomil held the machine carefully. He looked at it from all sides. Some wires were wrong. The energy lines were crossed. He reached for a small tool and began working. For a moment, he forgot where he was. He focused only on the parts, the shapes, the way they moved. His hands worked fast but gentle. Velia watched quietly. Her eyes shone with interest. After 20 minutes, Tommel pressed a small button on the side. A soft tune came out of the machine, gentle and slow. It sounded like the wind in trees, mixed with the hum of stars. Ryla, who had entered the room, clapped softly. "Beautiful." Tamil set the machine down. "I used to fix things like this at home." Velia nodded. "And now you fix more." "What does this prove?" Tomil asked. Velia walked to the center of the room. A round platform rose from the floor. In the middle was a glowing crystal. "This is a piece of the core," she said. "It holds memory." Tomil stepped closer. The crystal pulsed with light. As he touched it, his fingers tingled. Suddenly he saw visions. Not with his eyes, but in his mind. He saw the Earth, spinning in space. Then he saw another planet, green and full of life. He saw ships flying. He saw people, some human, some not, working together. He saw fear, fire, war, then peace. He pulled his hand away. "What was that?" he asked. "The past," Velia said, "and a warning." Tomil sat down slowly. "This is too much. I'm not ready for this." "You are not alone," Velia said. "We will guide you. But the core chose you for a reason." Tomil looked at the glowing crystal. "What reason?" Velia sat beside him. "The core speaks in ways we don't always understand. But it said one word when you touched it." "What word?" he asked. "Hope," Velia said. Tomil laughed a little. "Hope? I'm just a boy from a small street. I fix fans and sell wire." Velia smiled. "Sometimes the smallest light can guide the way in deep darkness." Tomil stayed quiet. His thoughts were loud inside his head. Was it true? Could someone like him matter this much? Before he could answer, an alarm rang out. A loud tone filled the hall. Lights flashed red. "What's happening?" he asked. Velia stood quickly. "Come with me." They ran through the hallway. Guards and workers rushed around them. Through a window, Tomil saw the stars moving fast. The ship was changing direction. "We're under threat," Velia said. "A signal came from the edge of the system. A shadow is near." "What kind of shadow?" Tomil asked. Velia didn't answer. Instead, she led him to a high platform. In the center was the full core, a massive sphere, bright and alive. "Touch." "It again?" she said. "Now?" "Yes. It may show us what's coming." Tomil took a deep breath. He placed his hand on the surface. Light rushed into his eyes. This time, he saw something dark, a shape without form, moving through space. It ate light. It brought silence. It was coming toward them. He pulled his hand away, gasping. "It's real," he said. "Something bad is coming." Velia nodded. "And you are the only one the core listens to." Tomil felt cold. He looked at the queen. She didn't smile this time. Tomil stood near the great sphere, the core, his hand still shaking. The images he saw were still fresh in his mind. The dark shape, the silence, the fear. Whatever that thing was, it was moving toward them, slowly but surely. Velia looked at him with steady eyes. "You saw it too?" Tomil nodded. "It was dark. It felt alive. but not like you. Not like anything I know. It was hungry. Valia stepped closer. We call it the Varn. Long ago it destroyed worlds. It feeds on energy. The core remembers it. But now it returns. Tomo looked back at the core. Why show me? Because you can feel the truth, she said. The core shares only with minds that can carry its weight. And it chose you. Tamil stepped back. I don't want this. I'm not ready. No one is ready for power, Valia said. But some are born to carry it. Before Tamil could speak, a new figure entered the chamber. He was tall, dressed in deep silver robes, with a long crystal rod in one hand. His face was old, but his eyes were sharp. This is Rovan, our high speaker, Valia said. He serves the core. Rovan nodded. Greetings, Tomel. I have heard much about you. I wish I could say the same, Tomel replied, a bit nervous. Rovan smiled slightly. It is time for your first trial. Trial? Valia nodded. If the core truly accepts you, it will open a path. But only if you are strong. Tomil looked at the sphere again. It was glowing softly, as if breathing. What do I have to do? He asked. Step forward, Rovan said. Tomil walked toward the base of the core. A circle opened beneath him, and a platform rose. The light around the sphere began to grow brighter, wrapping around him like fog. You will not move your body, Valia explained. But your mind will enter the core. You must walk through its memory. See what it has hidden for thousands of years. What happens if I fail? Tomel asked. Rovan looked at him calmly. Then the core will reject you and forget you. Tomil took a deep breath and nodded. I'm ready, he whispered. The light swallowed him whole. Tomil opened his eyes, but he was no longer in the chamber. He stood on a large field under a red sky. Strange towers floated in the air above him, glowing with symbols. Around him stood beings, not alien, not human, but something in between. They spoke in voices made of light. Tamil understood their words, not through sound, but through thought. He comes from the beginning, from the seed. He is not of us, yet walks with us. He must see what was forgotten. The world shifted. Now he stood on a space station. It was broken. Smoke filled the air. People ran and screamed. Ships exploded outside the window. A young girl held a crystal, just like the core, and handed it to someone before vanishing in fire. Remember, her voice echoed. Remember what we lost. Tomil was pulled again. He now stood in a dark chamber. There, floating before him, was the Varn, a black shadow that moved like smoke but had no face. It reached toward him. He felt cold, heavy, full of fear, but as it came closer, a light rose from within him, soft, warm, human. The shadow paused, then it pulled back. The voice of the core whispered to him, You are the spark. You are the memory. You are the fire. Everything vanished. Tomil woke up with a loud gasp. He fell to his knees in the core chamber. Valia and Rovan rushed to him. You passed, Rovan said. The core opened to you fully. Tomil tried to catch his breath. I saw so many things, pain, fire, the shadow, but also hope. Valia helped him stand. The core shared what it had hidden. This means you are its chosen. Tomil looked at the sphere. It now glowed brighter, warmer, as if proud. But why me? He asked again. Why a boy from Earth? Valia answered, because sometimes those farthest from power carry it best. Earth is far from here. Your heart is untouched by pride. That makes you strong. Tomel shook his head. I'm still just one person. You're not alone anymore, Valia said. We will face the Varn together. Rovan stepped forward. There is more. The core has begun to build a link with your mind. Over time, you will be able to speak to it without touching it. Tamil blinked. You mean like talk inside my head? Yes, Rovan said. But only when the bond grows stronger. Tamil touched his temple. It felt warm, alive. What do I do now? He asked. Velia smiled again, the same calm smile he remembered from the first day. Now, she said, you learn how to lead. Later that night, Tomil stood alone on a balcony. The stars above were peaceful. The planet below glowed with rings of silver. He thought about Earth, his home, his street, his little room, his father's repair shop. He missed it. But something inside him had changed. He was no longer just a boy who fixed fans. He was something more. A voice whispered in his mind, not his own. You are not alone. He smiled a little. For the first time, he believed it. Tamil walked through the quiet hallways of the ship. The floor glowed with soft light under his feet. Every turn he took led to something new. A garden filled with floating leaves, a room where sound danced like color, a wall that sang when touched. But even with all the wonder, a question stayed in his heart. Why him? Valia said the core chose him. Rovan said he passed the trial. The people on the ship looked at him with respect now. Some even nodded when he passed. But deep inside, Tomil still felt unsure. He wanted answers. That morning he had asked Valia, has any human ever come here before me? Valia had looked away for a moment, then replied softly, yes, long ago, but their stories were lost or hidden. Tamil didn't like that answer, so now he searched for the truth himself. He entered the knowledge hall, a large room filled with floating lights and spinning memory crystals. It looked like a library, but the books were alive with energy. As he stepped inside, a helper floated toward him, a small sphere with wings and a single eye. I am Nima, guardian of memory, the voice said politely. I want to know about the other humans, Tomil said. The ones who came before me. I blinked slowly. Access to those memories is limited. Why? They were sealed by order of the council, Nima replied. Tomil crossed his arms. Can the core unlock them? Nima paused, then slowly said, yes, if the one who carries the spark requests it. Tomil took a deep breath. Then I request it. The room darkened. One of the crystals floated down toward him and hovered in front of his eyes. A light beamed into his mind. The vision began. He saw Earth, not as it was now, but hundreds of years ago. A large ship landed quietly in the shadows of a desert. Lights flashed, and a group of humans disappeared. They woke up on this very ship, just like Tomil. There were 5 of them, 3 men, 2 women. They looked afraid, confused, just like him, but they stayed. Their names were recorded in a soft voice. Mira, Yonen, Dial, Kira, and Hano. Tomil saw them learning, working, helping build the core. Mira could speak to machines. Jonan created new tools. Dial taught peace. Kira helped grow food from stars. Hanno did something different. He touched the core, just like Tomil. But something went wrong. One day, Hanno entered the core chamber alone. He tried to unlock a deeper layer. The core resisted. His mind was too aggressive, too proud. He wanted to control it, not listen. The core shut him out. His bond broke. The light inside him faded. After that, the humans split. Some stayed with the ship. Some chose to leave. Some went silent. Then came a message, an old recording. Tamil heard it clearly. It was Mira's voice. If this message finds another human, listen well. The core is not just power, it is memory. It watches, it learns, it waits. Don't force it. Respect it. Trust it. And one more thing. The Varn fears us. Not because we are strong, but because we are different. You must be careful what you awaken. The crystal faded. The room returned to normal. Tomil stood still for a moment, eyes wide. He had never heard anything like that before. He now knew the truth. Others had come. Some had helped. One had failed. But even then, they had all been part of something bigger. He turned to Nima. Can I see more? There is one more file, the voice said. A small panel on the wall opened. Inside it was an object, an old metal badge, rusty and cracked. On it were 5 letters. Tamil touched it. A name appeared under the letters. Hanno suddenly, the lights in the hall flickered. Tamil looked up. What happened? Nima's voice grew serious. A signal has entered our space, from the edge of the star field. Another ship? Tomil asked. No, Nima said. Something worse. Tomil ran to the command center. Velia and Rovan were already there, along with other leaders. The screen showed a black area in space. No stars, no light, just darkness moving forward. It's the Varn, Tomil said. Velia nodded. Yes, the core told us, but it's closer now. How long until it reaches us? He asked. 3 cycles, Rovan replied. We must prepare, Tomil stepped forward. Let me speak with the core again. Velia raised an eyebrow. Now? Yes, Tomil said. Mira left a message. She said the Varn fears us because we are different. The others looked at him with surprise. You found her memories? Velia asked. Yes. She helped build the core. She knew what it could do. Velia nodded slowly. Then go. And be careful. Inside the core chamber, the sphere glowed brighter than before. Tomil placed his hand on it. Light rushed through him again. This time there were no visions. There was a voice. You are not Hanno. I know, Tomil whispered, but I want to learn, not control. You carry the spark, but the spark can burn or warm. I don't want to burn, Tomil said. I want to protect. The core pulsed softly. Then listen well. The Varn cannot be fought with ships or guns. It feeds on fear, on broken minds. It must be faced with what it does not understand. The warning lights flashed across the ship. Red lines moved along the walls like veins. A deep voice echoed through the halls. Dark signal approaching. All defense units prepare. Tomil stood on the command bridge, his hands clenched at his sides. The stars outside the main window were fading. The Varn was coming closer, and space itself seemed to shake. Velia stood beside him. Her face was calm, but her voice was sharp. "Shields at full! Evacuation pods ready! We stand as one," Rovan spoke from the side. "They're still testing us. It hasn't attacked yet. It waits." Tomil knew why. The Varn didn't attack like normal enemies. It didn't fire weapons. It didn't break walls. It entered minds. It found fear, pain, and doubt, and grew stronger through them. He had seen it in the Core's vision. "They're looking for weakness," Tomil said. "They don't just want power. They want to break our spirit." Velia nodded. "And if they succeed, we fall without a single shot." Tomil looked down at the silver bracelet on his wrist. It connected him to the Core. Since the last trial, he could feel its presence more and more. Sometimes he even heard whispers in his thoughts, warnings, memories, pieces of light. The voice of the Core had told him the answer. The Varn fears what it cannot control. A human heart. But what did that mean? He wasn't a soldier. He didn't know how to fight. Velia placed a hand on his shoulder. "You must help us hold the light, Tomil. You are our center now." "I'm not ready," he whispered. "You are more ready than you know," she replied. That night, Tomil walked alone into the memory chamber. He sat on the floor beside a floating crystal and closed his eyes. He thought about Earth, about his father's voice. The dusty fan in the shop he once repaired, the old radio that played songs during rainy days. He missed those days. But now he understood something deeper. On Earth, he had fixed broken things. Here, he was being asked to fix something much bigger, a people's faith. The door behind him opened. Rila entered, her face tense. "Something's happening," she said. The ground shook. Tomil ran with Rila to the upper decks. People stood frozen, staring out the wide window. Far in the distance, a black wave was moving, silent, cold, huge. It wasn't made of ships or metal. It looked like a living shadow stretching across space. It was the Varn, now fully awake. Velia turned to Tomil. "It's sending thoughts to our people. Fear, doubt. Some are falling under its voice." Tomil could already see it. Some guards dropped their weapons. A few people knelt on the floor, covering their ears. Their eyes were empty. He rushed forward and knelt beside one young guard, a boy barely older than him. "What do you hear?" Tomil asked. The boy's voice was slow. "It says, we're nothing, that we will be forgotten, that there is no hope." Tomil took the boy's hand. "That's not true. Look at me. I came from a tiny street. I thought I was nothing too. But I'm here now, and I believe in you." The boy blinked, eyes clearing slowly. "You believe?" "Yes," Tomil said. "We can stand together." The darkness in the boy's eyes faded. The Varn's grip had failed. Velia watched with hope. Soon Tomil was taken to the core tower, the heart of the ship. Rovan stood at the gate. "The core wishes to speak. It says it is ready." Tomil stepped. Inside alone. The sphere was brighter than ever, pulsing with gold light. He placed both hands on it, and he fell into a new vision. This time he stood in front of a wall of black wind. It screamed without sound. The Varn rose before him like a storm. "You cannot stop me," it whispered in many voices. "You are small, weak, human." Tomil stood firm. "I am human, and that is why I can stop you." The Varn laughed. What can your kind do? You break. You fear. You forget. Tomil closed his eyes and thought of Rila's smile, the little boy he helped. The old songs from Earth? No, he said. We remember. We love. We hope. From his chest, a small light appeared. It grew brighter. The Varn hissed. The light spread. The shadow cracked. This is not power, Tomil said. It's heart. He opened his eyes back in the chamber. The core was glowing bright yellow. Velia entered. What happened? Tomil stood tall. The Varn tried to speak to me. I spoke back. Velia raised an eyebrow. And? It doesn't understand love, he said. It doesn't know how to fight a mind that chooses hope. Over the next day, Tomil led the people in thought bonding, a peaceful form of mental connection taught by the core. It allowed people to share memories, kindness, and light. The Varn attacked again, but this time it found no fear, only unity. It shrieked in the void of space, but could not enter. Tomil stood in the main hall, his voice strong. We are many, he said, but we share one light. It cannot break us. The people raised their hands. The core pulsed, and the Varn began to fall back. It couldn't feed on strength. It couldn't control love. It couldn't win. Later, as the darkness faded into the stars, Tomil sat quietly by himself, watching space through the glass wall. Velia came and stood beside him. You faced it, she said. Not with weapons, but with spirit. Tomil smiled. Maybe that's all we needed. Velia nodded. You've changed us, Tomil. Whether you return to Earth or stay here, this place will always be your home. Tomil looked out at the stars. He no longer felt small. He no longer felt lost. For the first time, he felt something real. He belonged. The stars were peaceful again. The black wave of the Varn had pulled back, disappearing into deep space. No attack had come. No weapons were fired. But a war was fought, a war of minds, hearts, and hope. And Tomil had led them through it. Now, the ship of light floated quietly above a calm planet. The people worked together to repair small damages caused by the Varn's mental pressure. No buildings were broken, but some hearts still healed from the fear. Tomil walked alone toward the core chamber. The silver bracelet on his wrist was warm. It had started glowing whenever he felt strong emotions: fear, love, joy. The core was not just watching him, it was learning from him. Velia waited at the entrance. The core wishes to speak to you again, she said. Tomil gave a small smile. It talks a lot now. She smiled, too. It only talks to those it trusts. Tomil entered the glowing chamber. The giant sphere in the middle pulsed with soft yellow light. He placed his hand on it. A voice filled his thoughts. You carry the spark, but the spark grows bright. It now touches more than me. What do you mean? Tomil asked. The core answered, You have started something new. Others are changing. Because of you. Tomil saw a quick flash, Rila helping an old alien walk, a group of guards teaching young ones about peace, scientists building new machines not for war, but for healing. All of it. From the hope he had shared. I'm not special, Tomil whispered. I'm just one person. One spark starts the fire. That is enough. Tamil felt warmth in his chest. Then the light changed. The color turned red. Alarms rang outside. Velia rushed into the chamber. Something is wrong. What? Now? Tamil asked. Rovan came in after her. The core is unstable. Its energy is rising too fast. Tamil looked at the sphere. The pulsing was faster now, harder. Why? Rovan spoke with fear in his voice. The core used much of its power to hold back the Varn. Now it needs to rest. But something inside is still active. Velia looked at Tamil. Can you enter it again? Deeply this time? Tamil nodded. If I must, I will. For the first time, the core allowed Tamil to fully enter its center. He lay down on a circle near the base. The light covered him like water. His body stayed outside, but his mind fell deep inside the core's heart. He opened his eyes in a new place. It was dark, full of broken memories. A voice cried from the distance. He followed it. He saw old shapes, faded images of other humans who came long before him. Mira, Yonen, Dael, Kira, and Hano. Hano stood alone in the dark. Why are you here? Tamil asked. Hano turned, his face filled with pain. I forced the core to obey me. Now I'm stuck here. My mind never left. Tamil stepped closer. You wanted power? No, Hano whispered. I wanted to protect, but I was proud. I didn't listen. I shouted when I should have whispered. Tamil looked around. The core is hurt. It's unstable. Yes, Hano said. Too many minds pushed it. Too many hands tried to shape it. Only a soft touch can help it now. Tamil nodded. Then I will not push. I'll ask. He sat down, closed his eyes, and whispered softly, Core, can you hear me? I'm here. I don't want to take. I want to help. The darkness shifted. Light returned. A warm breeze touched his skin. The core's voice returned, softer now. You listened? That is enough. Tamil woke up in the chamber. The red light was fading. Velia and Rovan stood by his side. It's slowing down, Velia said. The core is resting again. Tamil sat up, tired but smiling. It just needed someone to ask. Rovan's eyes widened. You calmed it with kindness? Yes, Tamil said. No commands, no control, just care. Velia helped him stand. That is the true strength of your kind. Tamil looked at the glowing sphere. We don't have wings or sharp claws, but we have something else. We feel. We hope. We keep going even when we're small. Velia nodded. That spark lives in you, and now it lives in others too. Over the next few days, the city changed. People from different races began working together more closely. The ship's scientists studied the energy of emotions. A new school was built where children learned not only technology, but also kindness, sharing, and memory. Tamil taught a small group how to fix machines using both hands and heart. Rila helped him every day. She was good at calming young ones. One day, while fixing a floating lamp, Rila asked, Will you stay forever? Tamil paused. I don't know. You still miss Earth? She asked. Yes, he said. It was my first home. Rila looked up. But this feels like home too? Tamil smiled. Yes, very much. That evening, Velia called him to the high tower. She stood at the window watching the stars. The council has voted, she said. Tamil raised an eyebrow. Voted about what? You, Valia said, they wish to offer you a seat among us, as a guide, a protector of memory, a speaker for the core. Tomil was quiet for a long time. I never imagined something like this, he said. You did not choose this path, Valia said, but you walked it well. Tomil looked out at the stars. Earth was out there, far away. His small street, his father's shop, the sound of rain. But here people listened to his words. The core trusted his mind. He had stopped a darkness. He had started healing. I want to visit Earth one day, he said. You can, Valia replied. The gate can take you, but whether you stay there or return here, both places will always be your home. Tomil nodded. For the first time, he was no longer afraid of the choice. The stars above the city were bright and calm. The ship of light no longer hummed with fear or pressure. It now breathed slowly, like a living thing in peace. Tomil stood at the top of the high tower. The wind blew softly against his face. In his hand, he held a small object, an old metal coin. It was from Earth, a gift from his father long ago. It reminded him of home. Behind him, Valia walked forward. The gate is ready. Tomil turned. Where will it open? Near your old town, she said. We found the location using your memory. A safe forest near the river. He nodded. A few floors below, Rila waited with the others. She had made a small gift for Tomil. A simple necklace with a glowing stone taken from the core's edge. It was said to respond to feelings. It would shine when he was truly happy. He wore it around his neck. You still don't know what to do? Valia asked. Tomil sighed. I feel like I belong here, but Earth, it was my beginning. Valia looked at him gently. Then visit. Speak with your people. See them with new eyes. The core will remain calm. You are free now. Tomil smiled. Thank you. In the wide garden, the gate was waiting. It looked like a circle of golden light, floating in the air. Around it stood the council, the scientists, the guards, and children from the city. Rila ran to Tomil, hugging him tightly. You'll come back, right? She asked. I promise, Tomil said. This is not goodbye. He looked at the crowd. So many eyes watched him. Eyes of different shapes, colors, sizes, but all filled with respect. Tomil stepped into the circle. For a moment the world spun. He opened his eyes on Earth. Birds chirped above. The wind smelled like trees and wet soil. He stood near a river he knew well. Trees lined the edge. In the distance, he saw rooftops. His town. Tomil walked slowly through the streets. Everything looked smaller than he remembered. The lights were dull compared to the city and the stars. The walls were cracked, but the people still smiled. A child waved to him. A shopkeeper greeted him. It felt warm. He reached his old home. His father was outside working on a small motorbike. When he looked up, his eyes widened. Tomil? He asked. Tomil nodded. His father ran to him and hugged him tightly. I thought you were lost, his father whispered. They said you were taken. I was, Tomil said. But I found something bigger. Over the next few days, Tomil stayed in town. He helped fix old machines. He shared small stories about far places. People thought they were dreams, but they listened closely. One night, he took a few trusted friends to the river. There he opened a small orb from his belt. A message from the core appeared in the sky like glowing dust. It showed the peaceful city of light. Children learning. Machines healing. A giant ship floating calmly in the stars. This is real, Taunted said, and they know we're here. Some people feared it. Some were amazed. Others just sat quietly thinking. Taunted did not push them. He waited. He visited schools. He taught about balance between power and care, between strength and peace. He gave a necklace to a kind girl who reminded him of Rila. The world was not perfect, but change had begun. 1 week later, Taunted stood again at the river. The necklace around his neck glowed brightly. He looked up. The gate opened once more. Velia stepped out. "Are you ready?" she asked. Taunted looked back at the trees, the houses, the sky of earth. Then he looked at Velia. Yes. He returned to the Star City as both a visitor and a member. The people cheered when they saw him. Rila jumped into his arms. The core pulsed gently in welcome. Time passed. Taunted became a guide. Not a ruler, not a king, just a voice that people listened to. He traveled between worlds, carrying messages of peace, hope, and memory. He taught many, but always listened more than he spoke. One day, Velia met him at the quiet garden. She smiled. "The stars are growing quiet again. The Varn are gone." Taunted looked up. "Do you think they'll return?" Velia nodded slowly. "One day, but not in anger, not if we continue walking this path." Taunted touched the stone on his necklace. It glowed faintly. "I used to say I didn't belong here," he said. Velia smiled. "But now I know," Taunted continued. "I belong wherever I choose to care. That is what makes a place home." Velia placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then you belong in many places." They stood together in silence, watching the stars. In the city of light, on a planet among the stars, a simple human had changed everything. Not with weapons, not with commands, but with a heart that listened and a voice that gave hope. And in many corners of the galaxy, the spark he carried now burned quietly. In others,